The new Land Cruiser 2.8 1GD motor. Now from what everyone says, it's the same 2.8 that's been in the Hilux, Fortuner and Prado for a while now. And in today's video, we're going to attempt to change the fuel filter. As you can see, it is a lot different to the paper filters that you do get in the earlier 2.8s. So Shell's Fortuner had the plastic housing. Now in these ones, they've sort of gone back to a little bit old school. So this is the filter system in Bullet Truck. Just happen to have it open right here, where you've got the cartridge and then the drain at the bottom, conveniently placed here on our coffee table. So they've gone back to this system, and I've had a look under the bonnets of a couple of the new 1GD Hiluxes, current model, and they've still got the plastic housing with the paper filter. So I believe this setup here is much more superior. So we're at 22,000 Ks now, and at 10,000 I did drain the bowl. Since all that jerry can fuel across the desert, we're actually going to attempt to take it out. First tip to get underneath it to actually drain the tap is take the two nuts off the bracket, and then you've got enough room to physically pick it up and get your hand underneath it to drain it, which I'll do now before I unscrew the filter from the housing. Then you've got two electrical connectors, so once you undo that, you can see there you can get to the tap very easily. Now there's a note here on the shield that it's aligned at installation, be sure to line up marks. So make reference of this shield for the tap and put it back in the same place. But what I'm going to do with this connector, I'm actually going to take it off the bracket so that we don't damage it when we unscrew. So I needed two hands there for a second, but you just got to push, call them the ears, the two ears back, and that comes off as well. So what I do with Bullet Truck is I have the spare plastic so that I don't have to unscrew them, because they do pose a problem sometimes when you're trackside. So grab yourself a filter removal tool, unscrew it, let it drain. Different for a 79, and it's different to the other 1GDs that are out there. So I already had a couple of questions, people sending me in my inbox about when I do the filter, please put a video together. So hopefully this helps you. So we've got it on the bench here now, and we've got this bash plate off it, and we're going to take this plastic piece off. And what I will do from now on is every time I order a filter, I will order this piece. And that's me thinking outside the square, on the side of a track, in some mud, just to have it so that you're undoing a filter and putting a filter back in. Two ways to do this. You can prime your life away, or you can put some diesel in it before you fit it up. On Bullet Truck we do have a 12-volt pump to help feed fuel up in there when we're on those massive angles, or even just when I do a filter change. I don't have to prime for ages, I just turn the switch on in the cab and it pumps it straight out of the cell into the filter. And I've found in the past, when you over tighten these, they are a real mission to get off like next time. So this isn't a clean workshop obviously, and I'm keeping the plastic at the base. So tighten this right up now so we don't forget. Put this bash plate back on. I think that's a little bit overkill. I don't know what's going to come up and hit that. So when you're touring, you should always carry a spare filter. Back on the housing now, hand tight. And then I go just a tiny bit more. All right, now we've got to put the electrics back. We'll sit it back on the bracket, make sure that they're all free, the wires. I'll plug these two together first. So that tells me where it needs to be, even though I do remember. Click that back in, and then we've got the black one. So with the nuts on, now just a matter of priming. Unfortunately, I don't have any diesel handy in a jerry can, and I probably wouldn't put it out of a jerry can into the filter anyway. It's pretty hard now, and it should kick over first go. Alright, stop before you start typing about the warranty void, about doing it myself. It's not about that. It's about trying to educate people on how to do these filters when they need it on the side of the road in the outback Australia. So that 7-day stretch we just did in the desert, there was no Toyota dealer, no NRMA, no servos, but we had no choice but to use jerry can fuel. When you're touring, you can't trust that everybody's Bowser is dust-free, dirt-free, water-free. Now let's be honest, this isn't a city car. If you bought a vehicle like this, your chances are you're going to be going off-road or in the outback. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family to be able to keep yourselves mobile. So if this is to happen, no servos, no Toyota dealer, no mechanics, you're going to either be stuck or you're going to know how to do this and move on. Because what we just showed you is probably the only reason why you're going to have these motors stop on you. They're as reliable as all else. This 1GD's been around a while now. A couple of people asked me, send me messages about next time we do a filter swap, please make a video, because under these bonnets, the filter system is a little bit different. It's not the same setup as the 1GD Hilux or the 1GD Prado or Fortuner. But it's not difficult because these filter systems have been around in Toyotas for a long, long time. Another thing that really impressed me on this trip is how dustproof we made the factory snorkel. I remember in the VDJ when the factory snorkel was first fitted, we did a trip and there was a lot more dust than this. So not only did we Sikaflex all the joins in this, making it watertight for that first river run we did, but I feel that the seal on this box potentially might be of some goodness. But we'll throw a new one in, keep that in the spares pile. So keeping dirt out of this box is keeping dirt off the MAF sensor as well, so less maintenance there. So I hope you enjoyed this little maintenance clip in the middle of our Simpson Desert series. I hope I did it justice, and I hope that you guys can all go away and maybe do a filter swap in between your periodical services. Do it at home so that if there is a mistake done, you don't need to call for help. Because where we were, we had no reception, no phone reception either. So if we'd have stopped, sure, this day and age, people just Google car stalled, doing this, but you need internet reception to be able to answer that. So the knowledge that I'm happy to share by doing this, and I did it on this vehicle for the first time. I drained it once at 10,000. And what we are going to have in an upcoming episode, again, we might throw it in the mix with the series, is we're going to have this versus the 300. Towing bullet trucks. So we haven't towed bullet truck in this car with the parabolics or the 35s. So we'll be testing gearing, we'll be testing fuel consumption, and we'll be testing what it feels like with the parabolic springs from Terrain Tamer. And in the 300, we haven't towed bullet truck on the biggest chute. So when we towed bullet truck out of Mudgee, it was on the factory tyre. So that'll be another interesting one. I can't wait for that one. I hope you enjoyed this, and as always, thanks for watching.